ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Okay, so we are now physically not in Lanka. Oh, what a place! What a beautiful place. Everything about it was super. We are, uh, although physically not in Lanka anymore, but as far as the storyline is concerned, we are very much right in the midst of the mighty war action that's happening. Kumbhakarna has been killed recently by Sri Ramachandra. And the Rakshasas come and inform Kumbhakarna that inform Ravana that Kumbhakarna has been killed. Kumbhakarnam hatam drashtva Raghavena Mahatmana Rakshasa Rakshasendraya Ravanaya Nyavedayat. The Rakshasas who saw Kumbhakarna being killed by Sri Ramachandra came and informed Ravana. Oh Ravana, your brother Kumbhakarna, who caused so much havoc in the Vanara army, not only did he crush them, he killed them, he devoured them, and he who himself is as powerful, mighty, and devastating as Yamaraj has been killed by Kakutstha, the son of Dasharatha, Sri Ramachandra. His body is lying there on the battlefield, pretty much only the torso, because Ramachandra had cut off his arms, had cut off his feet, and then finally cut off his head. So they're sitting there like a tree trunk. Hmm? And the head. Oh, and Kumbhakarna is fallen such that uh, his trunk is half submerged in the water. So the Ramachandra's arrows were so powerful that they put half of Kumbhakarna's body into the ocean. Mm. And the head is blocking the gate of Lanka. And the head has the nose and ears with the earrings all intact, but the head is blocking the gate and it's profusely bleeding. Now, not only that Ravana heard that Kumbhakarna had died, but to hear that this great Kumbhakarna, who was so mighty in size and could crush his enemies, not only was being killed, but killed in such a gory way, is very painful for Ravana. Shutva vinihitam shankhe Kumbhakarna Mahavalam Ravana shoka samtapto mumoha cha papata cha. Hearing that his brother was killed like that, Ravana, believe it or not, shoka santapta. This is a phrase that appears again and again. Shoka santapta, burning with lamentation. Now, Ravana is a very strong guy, so not a weakling that easily cries or easily is moved. But Valmiki says that the news was so intense for Ravana, Mumoha cha, he became unconscious, he fainted. Papata cha, and fell down on the ground. So, Ravana, who was fallen like that, was awakened or brought back to consciousness by Ravana's sons, Devantaka and Narantaka, Trishira and Atikaya. They too, all of them, were so afflicted at the death of their uncle, Kumbhakarna, that they tried to bring Ravana back to consciousness, but they themselves are severely, deeply afflicted. Then Ravana has other half brothers. We've heard their names, Mahodara and Mahaparshva. They themselves were so overcome by grief, hearing that Sri Rama had killed Kumbhakarna. Somehow, with great difficulty, Ravana gathered his wits, came back to consciousness. His mind was very distracted, and he began to lament, "Oh, Kumbhakarna, the hero among Rakshasas. You, by your presence, could crush the pride of anybody who stood in front of you. And you have so much might, strength in you. How is it that you have been sent to death like that? You've left me, your brother, uh, you've left me alone. And I have a thorn on my side. My thorn is Rama. And you have gone back without removing that thorn. I don't think I can even survive without my right hand. You're my right hand. You like my right hand. Without you, I am incomplete because when you were with me, all the devatas, the other demons, Danavas, Gandharvas, the whole universe was scared of me. I even wonder how Ramachandra could kill a warrior like you. Katham evam vidho Viro Devadanava Darpaha, one who killed the pride of the gods and demons equally. Kalagni Pratimo, Kala Agni Pratima, you were like the fire of destruction. He Adya Raghavena Ranehataha. How is it possible that such a mighty, almost like death personified Kumbhakarna was killed by Raghava? So, this is all different lamentation of Ravana. You know, whenever the rishis would see you, ete devaganaha sardham mrishibhargno stitha nihatam tvam rane drashtva nidadanti praharshitaha. The rishis were loudly shouting to see you dead. Now, these Vanaras who will be rejoicing and celebrating that you have died will very easily enter into Lanka from all sides. and my purpose will never be served. Rajyena nasti me karyam kim karishyami sitaya. What am I going to do with Sita anymore? Kumbhakarna vinihasya jivite nasti me mati. So I have no purpose with Sita Devi anymore. In fact, my life has no meaning. I don't even have the desire to preserve my own life at all now. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to return Sita. It just means that he's lamenting very deeply at the loss of his brother. So he becomes more energized to kill Ramachandra. Yadyaham bhratrahantaram nahanmi yuddhi raghavam. That person who killed my brother, Rama, if I do not enter the battlefield and kill him, nanu me maranam shreyo nachedam vyartha jivatam. If I do not kill Rama, then as far as I'm concerned, my life is wasted. So right now or today itself, adyaiva tam gamishyami desham yatra nujo mama nahi bhratrunam samutrujya kshanam jivitam utsahe. I feel bhatrutram. I feel this sense of strong brotherhood for Kumbhakarna that I will not want to survive even a minute if I do not uh, avenge the death of my brother. Oh, Kumbhakarna, now that you've been killed, will I be able to conquer Indra? Without you, it's not possible. Now, uh, tadidam mam anuprapam vibhishanascha shubham vibhishana vachah shubham yadyagna tasya hi gruhitam mahatmanah. This is not that it was not predicted. Our great brother Vibhishana, he had spoken. He had given me some very good advice. But in my ignorance, I did not accept such good advice. Hmm. In fact, when Vibhishana warned me, I ignored it. And what has happened? That I've lost my other brother, Kumbhakarna. That really pious, wonderful, fortunate Vibhishana was kicked out of the kingdom by me. Tasyayam karmanah prapto vipako mama shokada yan maya dharmikah shriman na nirasto Vibhishanah. That pious and fortunate Vibhishana was kicked out of the kingdom by me, and the result of such an action, because that action is very harsh, the reaction is that I've lost my brother. I kicked out one good brother. So karma took away my other brother, the brother that I liked. So now I have lost both my brothers. Saying this, Ravana sank into his seat in complete distress. I mean, we've never seen Ravana. Most people have a picture of Ravana as always being mighty, strong, cruel, lusty. Yes, all that is true. What is also true is Valmiki telling us that Ravana sank into his seat, crying piteously, lamenting the loss of his brother. So then Ravana's son, Trishira, who saw his father, Ravana, lamenting like this, said something to his father. It is true that Kumbhakarna, who had so much power, has been killed. But, O king, people of strong character don't lament like this. Natu Satpurusha Rajan Vilapanti Yatha Bhavan. Like you are Vilapanti, you're lamenting, or you're feeling this overwhelm. Great men do not feel like that. As far as you're concerned, you have Tribhuvanasyapi Paryapta. Paryaptastvamasi. Prabho, O Lord, O Master, you can conquer the three worlds without any resistance. Then why are you behaving like a very common man? Sir, kasmat prakrita eva shochayasya mani. Idrisham, like this, like a very ordinary fellow. Where is the strength of your character? Where is the strength of your personality that you're crying like an ordinary person? In fact, do you remember that you have been gifted by Lord Brahma a very powerful weapon called Shakti? You have been given a certain armor by Lord Brahma also, a chariot that is that rumbles like the clouds, drawn by 1,000 donkeys. You have the powerful gifts given by Lord Brahma, such that when you ride on this chariot, Devas, Danavas, who have been killed by you single handedly, stand no match. So, what is Sri Rama? Not even a match for you. So, you're very powerful. Actually, even you don't have to go into the war because it's beneath you to go fight with someone as tiny and insignificant as Sri Rama. You give me the order, I will go. I will kill Rama and all the monkeys just the way Garuda kills the serpents. And I will kill Ramachandra on the battlefield today just the way Lord Vishnu uh, kills Narakasura. So Ravana felt a little reassured. Hmm. My son is inspiring me. So maybe uh, I should let him go. Then, along with Trishiras, the other sons, Devantaka, look at their names. Trishira, one with three heads. Deva Antaka, the one who puts Devas to an end. Narantaka, one who can kill all human beings. And Atikaya, super huge body. All these four full of uh, martial, that they're ready to fight, became impatient to go to the battlefield. So these valiant sons of Ravana roared, I will lead it. I will lead the army. I will lead the army and go forward. People, when they join, tend to forget muting themselves. Uh, I will lead the army. I will lead the army. And as they are so vying and asking to be the leader, because not in the sense of I want to be leader, but that they are, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go to the war and kill Ramachandra. And each of them was so powerful. And they've never been vanquished by the gods or any other celestial beings. And so they were roaring, all eager to go. Ravana, surrounded by such powerful sons, himself was glowing like the sun. So he embraced his sons very tightly. Saputran samparishvajya. Bhushayitva cha bhushanehi. And then he decorated them. He put them all, their armlets and necklaces. See that. Ashirbhishcha prashastabhihi preshayamasa vai rane. Gave them benedictions, blessings, and sent them out to the battlefield. Ravana, just the mentality of Ravana, that lust is so powerful. Krishna speaks about lust in the Bhagavad Gita, in the last section of third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That lust covers the senses, it covers the mind, it covers the intelligence, and is such that it burns like a raging fire. And the more it is fed, the more it burns. Ravana's lust is such that it's burning to such a degree that he's seeing Kumbhakarna being killed. And yet he's sending his 4 sons to fight Sri Ramachandra. Has no brain. But so along with his 4 sons, he also sent Mahodara and Mahaparshva. Here Valmiki gives their actual names. Mahodara and Mahaparshva have other names. Uh, Mahaparshva is also called Yuddhonmata. Mata, madness. Yuddha Unmata, one who becomes even greatly maddened by fighting. Yuddha Unmata. Yuddhonmata. And the other fellow's name is Matta, known as Mahodara. They also went into the battlefield with Ravana's sons. They offered their obeisances. Te abhivadya Mahatmanam Ravanam Loka Ravanam. Ravanam Loka Ravanam. Oh, I'll tell you, the phrases are wonderful. Ramachandra is glorified as Ramam. Rama Lokabhirama. Rama by his nature is so full of bliss. Loka Abhirama. That he can fill the entire universe with bliss. On the contrary, Ravanam, Loka Ravanam, who fills the entire universe with tears. He can make everybody cry. These brothers surrounded Ravana, Mahodara and Mahaparshva, surrounded Ravana, took his permission and blessings, and entered the battlefield. And as they're entering the battlefield, they have uh, anointed themselves with the 10 special herbs. And these 10 special herbs remove all sorts of injuries. They protect the body from being cut, lacerated, pierced, maimed. They will not become weak, and they will remain strong on the battlefield. Sarva Aushadhir Bhagna Gandhaish Aushadhir Bhi Gandhaishcha. Aushadhi Gandhaishcha. All sorts of herbs that are very fragrant and different perfumes. Samalabhya Mahabalaha Nirjagmuhu. So they entered, or they began to go into the forest. Shadete Yuddha Kangshina. Yuddha Kangshi, they are desirous of fighting. Trishira, Atikaya, Devantaka, Narantaka, Mahodara, Mahaparshva set out. Such a mighty group of Rakshasas. Now, if not one Kumbhakarna, but all of these guys. Mahodara sat on an elephant by the name Sudarshana. Sudarshana, this elephant itself, looked like a mighty cloud and was born in the same species as Airavata. that Indra is carried on. So Mahodara seated on Sudarshana, very, very charming to look at. Equipped with all kinds of weapons, quivers full of arrows, he himself was shining like the sun. Then Trishira, who was born to Ravana, got on his chariot, which was drawn by the best horses and was equipped with all sorts of weaponry. So his car was all the latest gadgets. Trishira carried a bow and looked like a mighty rain cloud that had streaks of lightning and streaks of meteors passing through the cloud. And the cloud was filled with a rainbow. So everything beautiful, very gorgeous looking. And there were three crowns on his head. And he himself sat on the chariot that was so big it looked like the Himalayas, which had three golden peaks. Then Atikaya, excessively large body. He was one of the best archers, and had so much fighting spirit in him that he got on his excellent chariot, which had very powerful wheels and was drawn by magnificent horses. Uh, he himself filled with quivers, arrows, spears, swords, clubs, all tipped with sharp iron points. Then Narantaka, he sat on a white horse, mighty large white horse that resembled Uchchaishrava. Uchchaishrava is the horse that came out of the churning of the milk ocean and also became the horse on which Indra rides, along when he also rides on Airavata. Hmm? Holding a spear in his hand, Narantaka, he looked like Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva. Kartikeya sits on a peacock. So, Devantaka, who himself looked like Lord Vishnu, holding the Mandara mountain in his arms. Mandara mountain, Lord Vishnu, is Ajita, who had brought the Mandara mountain for the churning of the milk ocean. Devantaka is carrying his Gada that looked like a mountain himself. Then Mahaparshva also carrying his Gada. He looked like Kubera, the treasurer of the Devatas. So each one of them looking so invincible. Now, you can imagine that the Valmiki is heightening to show us what a formidable war is about to happen. When all these great sons of Ravana are going, and they're going with a sense of anger in them because they are about to fight Sri Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriva, Angada, Jambavan, and all the Vanaras, especially with the anger that they have to avenge the death of Kumbhakarna. And they're entering the war or battlefield with loud roars and cries, clapping of their arms. Uh, when the monkey saw this big army and each battalion led by all these great Rakshasas, Vanaras became very perturbed. Uh, and in them, some ran away, some became very inspired. They themselves picked up mighty rocks and mountains and trees in their hands and started roaring back at the Rakshasas. So this whole battlefield is filled with the sounds of roaring from the Rakshasa side and the side of the Vanaras. The monkeys jumped up in the air with mountain tops and trees in their hands, and they were ready to throw them as ballistics and missiles at the Rakshasas. And as the monkeys are jumping up, the Rakshasas are shooting arrows or cutting off the ballistics that the Vanaras are throwing at them with their own arrows and spears. And the fight was just too big. Each group severely attacking the other. The monkeys were crushing the Rakshasas with rocks and killing them. Some monkeys would suddenly spring up in the air, uh, and killed the Rakshasas who were seated in chariots or seated on the back of elephants. And their fists, with their fists, they were punching so hard that the Rakshasas were being killed. Now, it's not just that this side was strong and that side was weak. Equally, the Rakshasas were shooting arrows and throwing spears and mercilessly killing the Vanaras on this side. They had what's called a pike, maces, mallets, spears, javelins, and as they were throwing this, there was blood all over the place. There were so many dead bodies piled on top of each other. The Valmiki tells us that the battlefield looked uh, like a reddish mountain because there's so much blood. And monkeys, their limbs and monkeys themselves crushed and scattered all over in pieces at the battlefield. Everything was chaotic. Imagine the war. It's not like five people fighting with each other, or even 50, or 500, 5,000, 50,000. Billions on this side and millions and billions on that side fighting with each other. And these Vanara were fighting with the Rakshasa chiefs. They were fighting back, each one trying to destroy the other side. It was just a crazy war. They threw mountain peaks at each other. They cut each other off. Some were torn. The monkeys would bite into the flesh of the Rakshasas and just tear apart the flesh. Some monkeys, their arms were broken, their legs were broken. They were bleeding profusely. And the bleeding is just the way trees exude sap. That way, blood was oozing out of the monkeys. Some monkeys crushed the chariots, while some monkeys were crushed by chariots and elephants. The Rakshasas were shooting sharp arrows on the Vanaras and cutting off the heads and arms and limbs of the monkeys. There were so many bodies on the ground that one could not step onto the bare ground. One had to literally step on some other body everywhere. Either trees that were broken, mountain peaks that were broken, bodies and limbs were broken, chariots, horses, elephants. You just didn't have a square inch of space that you could touch the actual ground. Vikirna parvataschaiva dumish Drumachinna, scattered trees everywhere. Samyuge, Hataischa, Kapi, Rakshaso Bhir Durgama, Vasudha Bhavat. Durgama, Vasudha Bhavat. The earth became very difficult to tread on. So this war was just constantly becoming worse and worse and worse. While this fight is going on, the rishis who are hovering in the sky are constantly shouting and shrieking at the thrill of what they are seeing, the scene of the battle. So at this time, Narantaka, who is on a horse, and the horse can move at the speed of wind, uh, plunged into the monkey army just as a fish enters water. Maharanavam, Vanara, Vanara, Vanara Sainyam Ugram, angrily, or a mighty Vanara army, Maharanavam, Meena Iva Avishesho. Just like a fish enters. If you ever see National Geographic, you see a dolphin comes out of the water and very gracefully enters the ocean. This guy, Narantaka, entered the monkey army like that. And just by one stroke, he pierced 700 monkeys with his spear. Just one strike of his spear. 700 monkeys. And so Narantaka started to completely decimate the Vanara army. The Vidyadharas and rishis saw what was happening. And as Narantaka is moving, he's creating this whole path because hundreds and hundreds of monkeys were being killed. As he kept, so if the whole army is like this, as he's moving, he's clearing the army as he moves through them. So Narantaka, the way Narantaka was killing all the Vanaras, it says like fire consumes wood, or a fire consumes forests. The line of the fire keeps moving without any stoppage. The monkeys were just falling off by Narantaka's attacks on them. It seemed like the Narantaka himself was single-handedly enough to completely decimate the Vanara army. And there was no way anyone could stand up to Narantaka. He looked like death personified. So the monkeys did not know what to do, so they only could cry loudly. And hundreds of monkey heroes was just falling off, as if struck by the lightning or a thunderbolt of Indra. Now, these monkeys, some of the mighty warriors who had fought with Kumbhakarna, but when they saw Narantaka, it was so hard to fight that they went to Sugriva. Sugriva saw that his army is in chaos because Narantaka was striking their hearts with fear. And Narantaka is riding this horse. So Sugriva spoke to Angada. Now, Narantaka is the son of Ravana, and Sugriva's son, not direct son, but Vali's son, but his nephew, Angada, was given orders by Sugriva. Gacha Ainam Rakshasam Veera Yo Asau Turaga Mastitaha. This guy who's riding a horse, Turaga. Turaga means that which runs or moves fast. Kshobayantam Haribalam Kshipram Praner Viryojaya. Pranir Viyojaya. Sorry. Viyojaya. Please fight against this fellow who's riding this horse and causing so much havoc in the Vanara army. I want you to free him of his life heirs. Kill him. Hearing this order of Sugriva, Angada rushed forth. He himself, like a mighty cloud, went into fighting. Now, Angada means one who has very beautiful armlets. So he himself was decorated so beautifully, was shining like a mountain with all of his veins shining like the extracts of metals from a mountain. Angada approached Narantaka. And what did Angada have? Except for no weapons, his nails and teeth. Spoke to Narantaka. Hey, Narantaka, throw your spear at me and see if I am hurt at all. I'm ready to challenge you. Narantaka became so angry. He started biting his own lip. He was hissing like a serpent. Narantaka came face to face with Angada. Picking up his lance, he threw it at Angada. And that spear, as soon as it hit Angada's chest, completely broke and fell to the ground because Angada's chest is stronger than steel, if you will, and that that spear just broke and fell down to the ground. Then what Angada did, Angada, with his palm, hit Narantaka's horse, the head of Narantaka's horse. And when the strike was so strong that the feet of the horse went into the ground and the eyes of the horse just burst by the power of Angada's slap, and the skull of the horse got completely smashed. And that horse fell on the ground. Seeing his horse, which was such a mighty horse, seeing his horse killed like that, Narantaka went into a fit of rage. This time, now it is mano to mano, or Rakshasa to Angada. Narantaka punched Angada on his head. Now, Angada felt that his skull was cracking by the power of Narantaka's fist. And Angada started to bleed hot blood profusely and felt a burning sensation on his body and somehow regained consciousness. But Angada won't give up so easily. Angada himself clenched his fist. So an eye for an eye, a fist for a fist, a punch for a punch. Angada, with his clenched fist, punched Narantaka's chest. Now, Angada's blow was so strong, and the was so strong that his fist crushed Narantaka's ribcage completely, and Narantaka fell on the ground, vomiting blood. And Valmiki gives the example of how a flash of lightning can completely scatter and break a mountain peak. Yatha achalaha, like a mountain, vajra nepata bhagnaha. By the strike of a lightning, bhagna, completely shattered. Narantaka's rib cage or chest completely shattered. Angada's fighting was so valorous that he killed Narantaka, that this was a very difficult Sudushkaram to Kritavan hi Vikramam. Sudushkaram, very difficult to achieve what Angada achieved, that is killing of Narantaka. That the news went to Sri Ramachandra's ears, and Ramchandra became so pleased. Now that by Ramachandra becoming pleased, Angada became even more inspired to fight. But there are others. Devantaka, Trishira, Mahodara, Mahaparshva, they're all there. They have to be killed as well, which it's 9:30. So they will be killed next week. And I'll give you the headline right now. Devantaka and Trishira were killed by Hanuman. Mahodara was killed by Neela, and Mahaparshva was killed by Rishabha. Now, how they were killed is a topic for next week. Uh, I'm not sure if I should ask for any reflections or questions, but since it's customary, I'll ask you: are there any reflections? You want to share something? Don't feel obliged, because there's just a narration of the battle. We didn't really cover too much. What we did is we covered a total of 96 verses from the 69th chapter and of some verses from the 68th chapter. So we did 2 chapters today, but it's just a fight scene or war scene that we covered. So you have any reflections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, this is the same Adhikaya who was there in Janasthana also, who came running to Ravana after everybody else was killed.
That was Akampana.
Akampana. Okay, sorry.
No, but there were 2 Akampanars. But there was Akampana. One Akampana got killed. This is Atikaya.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Namaste, Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances, our Gracious Prabhupada.
Yes,
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yep. Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, I was just confused, not confused, but I was just really trying to understand that how can you understand that so many people are dying? He's seeing that my brothers are dying, but still, and you mentioned the words, he's stupid. Just that. But then I try to contemplate. For example, a mundane example of let's say XYZ, a president of the United States or president of India. There are so much of opulence and so much of uh, power that even if they're getting destroyed, they there are there are they can understand because they think they can overpower. They can still they fight and they can still overpower the world, or they can still. Can you shed some light on this, Prabhu? It's such a bewildering that how can not you understand?
It's not bewildering. Duryodhana did not want to give up the kingdom. And so 11 Akshauhinis on this side and 7 Akshauhinis on that side fought. And literally everybody was killed because these convinced. World War I, World War II. Somebody was convinced. In fact, everybody is convinced that they are right. This is the nature of how ignorance works, that it convinces a person, I am right, they are wrong. The other side will think, I am right, they are wrong. So two rights will always fight. If one decides, yeah, I'm wrong, the fight stops. But both think, I'm right. My ideology is correct. My view is correct. My inspiration is the right inspiration. And so people fight. That's not surprising at all. I mean, Mahabharata war is the more recent one. And then we have World War I, World War II in the more recent history. But the same goes back that Ravana is convinced. I have come to such a point that, oh, there's no point in living. I won't be able to survive without Kumbhakarna. And then he has this foolish son who tells him, no, no, you can fight. I can fight and kill Ramachandra. Oh, okay, go into the war. Because he still feels there's a chance. Everybody feels I'm strong. I can kill Rama. I can kill Lakshmana. I'm right. Only when two people think I'm right is when the argument starts. So everybody thinks in this world, everybody thinks I'm right. I've understood things better. I'm right. That's the reason for strife. It's not surprising at all.
Thank you, Prabhu.
We are spectators, so we can see, oh wow, what is going on? But when we become participants in a fight, we cannot see. We are convinced I'm right and my way is correct and I will fight for it. That's just how it works. Anger, very, very dangerous. Oh, just today, I was reading this verse from Sundara Kanda. I don't have the book in front of me. But there's a particular verse where Hanuman, after burning Lanka, becomes very angry at himself. And he says, for a Kupita, person who is angry, for him, there is no word that he will not utter. Meaning, he can say anything. And there is no action that he will not take up, which means he can do all sorts of stupid, dirty, nasty things because he's convinced by his anger. And for such a person, they don't know what is the right thing to say, what is the right thing to do, because that is the nature of anger. So Hanuman is chastising himself. Chhi, out of anger, I did not know what to do, what not to do. I burnt Lanka and I burnt Sita also. It's a very beautiful verse. I'll see if I can send that verse on the WhatsApp group. Unbelievable how Hanuman is considering the ill effects of anger. The lesson in that chapter is, and there's a whole chapter of lamentation by Hanuman. The reason is that it shows the ill effects of anger. That even great persons, in this case Hanuman, Valmiki, even great persons, when they become victims of anger, the destruction that anger has, even great people, then what to speak of not great people like myself? What devastation can anger cause? It's not that Hanuman is but the message, it's a Vedic message being sent that even great people, if they become victims of anger, the outcomes are very devastating. And what to speak of common people? I'll send that verse. I'll try find that verse and send it. Okay, Paramakaruna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Tulya.
Please accept my humble obeisances. So Prabhu, on this point about fight when two people are thinking that they are right. So what can bring somebody to, or myself or anybody in that position to have a reflective mindset to think that somebody could be wrong or one can be wrong also?
No, I'm convinced who's wrong. The other person is wrong. That is why I'm right. But to consider, hey, maybe I'm wrong. In the burning of that fire, it's very hard. It's very hard for someone to intervene and very hard to be convinced that I'm wrong. It takes a very great person and leisure, slight humility to hear the great person, to stop the fight. I have to be convinced. Yeah, I may not be completely right. It's not easy.
So in case of Ravana, like Vibhishan was there to tell him that he was, with a lot of compassion in his heart, he was sharing that with Ravana. So was there this lack of humility that not have him heed to what he was saying, and rather
Yeah,
he become angrier?
yeah. Jyotirmaya is there. She sings this verse very nicely. Sulabha Purusha. Hey, it's Jyotirmaya. Maybe you can sing that verse if you like. Sulabha Purusha Rajan Satatam Priyavadinaha. This Vibhishana tells, Maricha also tells Ravana that it's very easy to find people that will agree with you. Would always, yeah. Sulabha Purusha Rajan Satatam Priyavadinaha. Who can always speak those words that are pleasing to you. Apriyasya cha apathyascha. Apriya. Things that you don't like to hear. Apathya. That's not easy to digest. Vakta Shrota cha durlabha. It's very hard to find people who will speak it, and even more difficult to find people who will hear it. Is there? Jyotirma is there? I think she's there.
Yes, Prabhu, I'm here.
Hey, would you like to sing that verse?
If you say, how can I say no? सुलभा पुरुष राजन् सततं प्रियवादिनः अप्रियस्य चापत्यस्य वक्ता श्रोता च दुर्लभः.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
So very hard to find. So Vibhishana spoke, but Ravana could not hear it.
Yes, Prabhu. So basically, then, what is the humility is needed to hear those words, and then Ravana does not have it. So from where, I'm just kind of hypothetically thinking, how can a person like that get humility to hear the right words?
Cannot get. It is very, very difficult. That's the whole point. That if fire or anger burns like a non-stop fire. If Ravana had stopped and said, okay, it's all because of I kidnapping Sita, and that's the root cause, I need to stop it, things would be different. But he is a victim of that anger or lust. And Krishna says it just keeps burning and burning and burning. It burns the senses, the mind, the intelligence, everything. Therefore, he is the greatest devourer. There's no ending. Once it starts to burn, it just keeps burning.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very important reflections. It's easy to say that Ravana is out there and comment on him, but when things come on us.
Ravana is very close to me, as close as Paramatma is. It's very, very devastating. Okay, we should end now. We started late, we also are ending late. Okay, thank you very much. Until we meet again next week, we will hear our hero Hanuman in action, Rishabha, and someone else. Hanuman kills Devantaka and Trishira. Mahodara is killed by Neela, and Mahaparshva is killed by Rishabha. Until then, let's meditate on at least the reflections we've heard. All reflections are concerned with anger and the very, very ill effects, devastating effects of anger, even if that anger comes from the heart of a devotee. You should be careful. Even if one is practicing bhakti and supposedly more refined and evolved than the common person. But such persons too, when they carry anger, the effects can be very devastating. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji.